For all our modern science, we still don't really understand how the human body works. You see, we haven't even acknowledged the life force energy. So how can we possibly understand how it works? We've just reduced it to mechanics. And there's of course a lot more going on. So this is body efficiency training. My name is Toby, and I've spent most of my life in various forms of internal and external martial arts. And I've really been passionately studying the chi, the life force energy, trying to understand it. And I've even studied physics. I've got a degree in physics, and that was partly also to understand the nature of the universe. I really wanted to know how all this stuff works, what is really going on. And I've discovered the body works in a different way to that we've been told. There is a lot of stuff going on that requires some more explanation. Now, I'm showing here some martial arts. We're practicing some fighting, and this you can see is a bit like traditional Kung Fu fighting. We're working on body structures and holding a strong structure as we push and pull on each other and create fighting moves. It's a very friendly fight. We're not really trying to win the fight. We're trying to keep the movement going. So we're sort of taking it in turns, allowing each other to have a go. But what we're really doing is concentrating on our chi, our energy, the energy in our body. And this is, of course, martial arts, but this is also healing. If you think about it, healing and martial arts are one and the same thing. When you're doing martial arts, you're fighting for your life. When you're lying in bed in hospital, you're fighting for your life. It's one and the same thing. So how do we do this? We do this by mastering our chi, the life force energy. This is the energy that gives the life. And this is the part of science and our understanding of the body that is completely missing. And I'm hoping to bring that back on this channel. You see that this should be included in our science. The life force energy must be included in science, and we need a new science to allow this to happen. But what we've got to start with is our own body. You see, the chi is an experiential thing. We can read about it, we can study it, but we really got to do it. There's no other way to understand this. You have to get involved. You see, the original scientists were the Taoists, and the Tao, you could argue, were the earliest form of science, but they had included the life force. They never separated it. So it was a scientific study of the universe, but including the life force energy, including our consciousness, our awareness. So the science was never separated. Now we've got a separated science. Our science is materialistic. It's based on the assumption that everything in the universe must be a material. So we've got only one side to our modern science, and that means we've got only one side to our understanding of the human body and how healing takes place. So how do we build this chi? Well, I want to take you through it in this talk. There's 3 simple steps we can all do, and I want to share them with you now so we can all get started on this body efficiency training. You see, I'm doing a lot of videos and a lot of complex things, and you can watch them all, and each one will give you another idea. You see, it's not so much about one individual thing you've got to do. It's about how you do everything, how you do all things. And these are the first 3 steps I want to take you through. If you can grasp these first 3 steps, you're off, and you'll be able to teach yourself, because you've got to experiment on yourself. You have to work this out, and that's what we're doing here. We're fighting, and I'm experimenting with different body structures, and he's pushing or pulling against me, and I have to feel that structure is strong and good and doesn't get affected by whatever he's doing. If it's not good, I'll feel myself move, but instead of fighting against what he does, I've got to readjust my internal structure. So our focus is entirely internal. I'm not even worried about what he's doing. I'm just concentrating on my own internal body structure. And that's the secret. That's the first thing to do, to understand. See, step 1, I've got to focus internally on my own body structure, regardless of what I'm doing, and try and hold a better structure in everything I do. And that means the first thing to do is stand up nice and straight. Just start to remind yourself to stand tall. Lift up your shoulders and your rib cage. Hold a vertical spine, but a natural neutral spine. So there's a gentle S curve. So you've got a slightly backwards arch, a slight backwards tilt in the pelvis. The belly is pulled in, and the sternum is tilted upwards. You'll feel taller. You'll feel stronger. You'll feel more awake in this posture. And so that is step 1. Remind yourself to stand up tall. The second one now is very similar, but the next thing we do a lot of is lean over. We're always leaning forward, and when we lean forward, we compromise our spine, and we've got to teach ourselves not to do that. You see, you watch me here when I'm fighting. Sometimes I lean forward, but I'm trying to lever at the hips. rather than hunch the spine. So when we lever forward and we're doing any work where we have to lean over, check your spine again. Don't hunch over, don't crunch your abdomen down, don't put pressure on the lower abdomen. You still got to keep a nice stretch in the spine, a nice neutral spine, and lever at the hip joint. You've got to project your hips. So step number 2 is try to create movement from your hips and your shoulders, not the spine. So step number 1 is stand up nice and tall. Remind yourself to stand tall in a nice spinal alignment. Step number 2 is when you move away from that, you've got to keep that spinal alignment. Try to create the movement in your hips and your shoulders. Don't compromise the spine. So either when you lever forward or bend down to pick something up, you can lever forward to do that, but keep a stretch in the spine. Project your hips backwards, so you've still got a backwards arch. You don't change your spine when you lean forward. So step 2 is move from the hips and the shoulders and maintain this neutral spine as much as possible. So far the first 2 steps are simply about body awareness and body posture. And I do suggest you go back and look at some of my other videos about dynamic standing and the neutral stance when I go into great detail of how to find and create this posture. But once you've got the hang of it, and you can get it straight away, just think stand up tall. Remind yourself to stand up nice and tall. It is ultimately easier. You'll feel lighter. It's easier to do. And this is step 3. We've got to become aware of our tension and relaxation. That means we become aware of our energy. How much energy are we using to move about? And this should become easier. We should be using less energy, being able to stay more relaxed, because we're using the bone structure to do the work, not individual muscles. So as you improve your posture, you've now got to become aware of the tension and relaxation in your body and try and feel how easy it is. If it's not feeling easy, you've got to go back and make sure you're doing it right. If it's feeling harder and you're struggling, you're probably doing it wrong. So you've got to, this is about testing yourself, experimenting. It's got to become easier. Like when you're standing in a good posture, you reach up to lift something from the top shelf, you think, oh, that was easy. Now you're on the right track. If it's like, oh, that's still hard, I don't want to do it, you're going slightly wrong. And you're trying to increase your relaxation, let the bone structure do the work, not the muscular tension. Now you still want tension, but it's an isometric tension, just enough to hold your bones together in the right way. And we're doing quite strong force here in this fighting, but it's hard to see. We're using our bone structure, and so we're not actually getting tired. And I used to fight with the whole class when I used to teach Kung Fu for about an hour. At the end of the class, we'd all fight each other, and I'm the only one that wouldn't be tired. I'd be invigorated after the hour. I could do this forever. Everyone else, their shoulders and arms are getting tired. It's because I'm using the whole body structure and the chi. I get invigorated by this movement. I'm not losing energy, I'm gaining energy. And this is the key. So the 3 steps: 1, stand up nice and tall. 2, when you bend over, stay nice and tall. Try to use the hips and the shoulders, and don't compromise the spine. And then step 3, become aware of your tension and relaxation. Try to feel your energy in your body. Now this is the most important thing. You've got to feel your whole body. Try and practice feeling right down to your toes, right to your fingertips, right to your head. You've got to feel the whole structure and check that what you're doing is becoming easier. And this is very hard to show. You see, we're doing strong Kung Fu, but what you can't see here is how easy this is for me. This is not a struggle, this is a pleasure. But you see, martial arts, remember, and healing are the same thing. So I'm gaining powerful healing as I do this. This is not fighting for me. I'm building up my chi. I'm flowing chi around my body, and this is healing me. And I'm doing it by integrating my mind and body together. I've got to bring the mind into the body, feel it. And this is the same as fighting and healing. I'm fighting for my life. I'm bringing my life into the body. I'm becoming aware of it and moving from my center. And this is the same whether I'm here doing martial arts, fighting for my life, or lying in hospital in bed, fighting for my life. I've got to bring my consciousness into my body and improve the flow of chi, energy through my body. And the key to healing is see yourself in perfect health. See the energy flowing perfectly. Feel the energy flowing perfectly through your body, even if the body is in a difficult situation. Because the energy will guide the body. If you can integrate the two, the body will have to follow the chi, and that will heal your body faster, and that will protect you if you have to fight. Ultimately, you're fighting from your spirit, your chi. You just explode your chi out in a combat, and that is what will come out, spontaneous movement to protect you in a fast way, faster than even thinking. Okay, I hope this gave you some more things to think about, but 3 simple steps. Stand up tall. When you bend over and move about, stay standing up tall, use your hips and shoulders. And then number 3, become aware of your tension and relaxation and feel the energy in your body. Try to make everything you do easier, and you do that by getting a better bone structure and feeling the energy move and flow through your body. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Check out one of these other videos here.